all of you beautiful people. It is me, Chris T, and welcome back to a new painting video. So it's been some time, so I just wanted to quickly catch up. How are you doing? How's it been going for you? I'm glad that even though I haven't been submitting videos, I'm able to read your comments and reply to you. I do love talking with you all, so thank you for always commenting and liking the videos. I do always see the support. For me, I've been pretty stressed recently, which isn't my typical go-to, but as is life, stress comes and it ebbs and flows, and that's just kind of the way it is. Beyond that, I've also been very busy, which is kind of interesting for someone who only sees about 3 to 4 people a week besides my job, and those 3 to 4 people are mostly family, so interesting to be so busy, but that's kind of been me recently. Anyways, that's just a quick update. I really wanted to talk about this piece, but before that, have you seen my new intro? So it's definitely a lot simpler, but I wanted this just words to overlay with whatever I'm filming instead of it being a full block of color. Its own little background. I just wanted it to kind of flow with the piece that I'm making for that day. So I made this new intro. I also made a new outro to match, and they're a lot simpler than the previous one that I had. The previous one had a little bit more animation. This one is a whole lot simpler, and I'm using a pre-made font, one of my favorite fonts in Procreate, which is Noteworthy. I might change the font one day. I might make my own font, but I thought this was nice and simple for the time being. I'm also thinking about updating my little avatar girl, my little character. I think I love her, but I want to change it. I feel like I've had this for the start of my channel, but I think as artists, we're constantly looking for the next art piece, and I feel like she's not me like she was. So I think I want to update that a little bit. So keep on the lookout for new channel art and a new little icon of me. So moving into the piece itself, oh boy, I don't know how telling the title that I'm going to make is, but I did not have a lot of fun with this one. To start off with this piece, I wasn't sure how I wanted to paint it, so I had it drawn for a long time, just this pencil sketch. It is the same character as my last painting video that I did with the Sibylline Maynette art kit, and that one was done with acrylic gouache. So I made this character, this girl character with these dreadlocks that I really like, and I wanted to make a series of paintings for that video, but I thought it would be too long, so I thought I would break them up. So originally I was going to do this one with acrylic gouache, but as I was thinking about the idea and the fact that she was going to be sitting in water and I wanted a nice nighttime scene, I thought it might be nice to play around with something like watercolor to get some cool blend effects. But I typically do watercolor, and I wanted to jump into art, even though it's been a little bit of a hiatus for me doing art. I wanted to jump into it with something that I don't do often, just to keep exploring different medium. And I decided to use inks. So the inks I have are from the Heikala art box, and as nice as they are, I'm still not too familiar with it. So I think jumping into something like this after such a long time and wanting to use ink wasn't the smartest decision, because I wasn't really warmed up. I didn't do anything to warm up or to practice. I just kind of jumped in because I knew I didn't have much time, and if I didn't jump into it, it would never get done. And I really, really wanted to make another video because I've just been wanting to make art, and I've been wanting to film it for you guys. But of course, kind of rushing through and using a process that I'm not familiar with while I've also been on a hiatus wasn't the brightest idea that I've ever had, and it shows a lot in this piece. So to go into that a little bit further, I don't know too much about mixing inks, and I'm still trying to get used to getting the colors that I want with inks. I know how to do it with watercolor. It's a little bit easier, but with something like this that once it dries, it's completely unmovable. You really have to get the color right on the first go. And I wanted to add some variety to the background. I was really looking at Heikala's Instagram to get some inspiration. She's a whiz with colors and I'm not. So I did the background. I didn't love it. I added another layer. I didn't love it. And so at some point I just turned off my camera and I decided to just try and fix it. And I got to a point where I actually did like it enough, and that's when I turned the cameras back on and continued with the painting process. It was really difficult. It was going a lot of places. But after painting the background, what felt like pulling teeth, I had to move on to the character. And I knew this was going to be another struggle because I had this lotus flower in her hands and I wanted it to glow. And I knew that going into it, but I don't know how people make things look like they're glowing in a way that's really beautiful. if you have any tips or ideas on that, please, please, please let me know. I'll take all insight, I'll take all knowledge on it, because I've tried to do this a few times, and every time I've ever tried to make something look like it was glowing, I feel like I've really struggled with it. And so I'm not sure what it is, but I'm just not great at it. So I went to paint her, and as much as I felt like I salvaged the background from being a complete mess, I painted her and I just don't love it. I really don't like this artwork, and I think I didn't do her justice. I don't think she pops out from the background enough. I don't think it looks like there's this glow happening. I think she should have been a little bit brighter to contrast the background. So it just feels very dark, and I'm not a big fan of it. So unfortunately, that's what we've got, but I like sharing my art even when it's not something that I'm a fan of. And I think while doing this, even though I struggled getting back into painting, I remembered some things. I was like, oh yeah, why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. It makes more sense to do it this way. Unfortunately for me, art is not like riding a bike. If I don't do art in a while, I don't just pick it up and I'm as good. Sometimes it's just like I revert back a few months or even years in terms of skill, and I'm like, I have to really go at it for a few tries before I get back to a point where I'm like comfortable and progressing. And I wanted to tell you what I think I learned, because all in all, despite the things that I'm still not sure about and I know I'll have to try with, I think the biggest things I learned about myself is I don't take enough time when I'm painting. I think I typically try and rush through it instead of really taking some time to go through the details and letting the process be however long it might be. And that's problematic. I don't know why I'm always in this like perpetual rushing state. I know for this one I didn't have a lot of time to paint, but I think it would make sense for me to just paint something over the course of like days upon days upon days, if I can only work a few hours a day and trying to do it all in one go. Because even though this painting might have taken me about 2 hours to 3 hours, I think it would have benefited a lot from me taking some time. So that's what I learned on this piece. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the filming style. That's a little bit more interesting. I feel like I'm always filming my videos a little bit differently. I'm always trying to find what is the way I want to film videos. And I'm not at the point where I want to be yet. I have some ideas, but I still film everything on my iPhone. So not having an actual camera with a tripod does limit me a lot, because I can't get scenes or I can't get angles that I would love to get. But for this one, in terms of how I edited it, I do not have it as a speed paint. I typically do speed paints, but I really like real-time art videos where you get to see someone's process and exactly how slowly they put the brush to paper. And I kind of wanted you guys to get that feel of the time it takes me to actually paint instead of in a speed paint format. So I really cut a lot of pieces out so that it could be a less than 20-minute long video, but I wanted it to still feel nice and you could see the process. And I'm hoping the cuts made it interesting where you don't feel like you're stuck on one scene for too long. But I'm still playing around with some ideas, and I have some more ideas that I want to incorporate, and I think I will. I'm going to try and do the best that I can, because I really love filming these videos and I really enjoy it. So please let me know how you're doing in the comments below. Enjoy the rest of this video. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your autumn weather, this fall season, the spooky months for some of you. For me, it's just about the colors, the smell of fall pumpkin candles. I love it. So I hope you guys really take care, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.